yeah, I was thinking before we really dive deep into the technology and also the future, and what does that mean for manufacturing and the supply chains? I wanted to talk with both of you more about the current, maybe not pain points, but what are the current challenges in manufacturing at the very moment, right? I mean, we now Maksym's technology is out there. Maybe you can start, Jay, but what do you think when, especially looking at the automotive industry and mobility landscape, what challenges do we face here at the moment?
So the challenge within the automotive industry is, of course, we have global supply chains. We are, it's something so complex that you don't know if something happens, how it impacts the overall supply chain. It's not just one player, two players. Majority of the OEMs of the automotives have something around 12 till 15,000 suppliers. If something happens in between, you don't know where the tipping points are, what kind of effects does it have. So when you are building, let's say from the dashboard, the whole plastic stuff and so on, and then it's shipped across the whole planet, or if you are partly building your cars, of course, to save some kind of taxes in another country, then you ship your half-built car to this country where it's finally assembled so that you can claim it's made by whatever, simply to avoid taxes. You are constantly shipping from A to B. It's a huge impact on the environment. It's a huge waste of resources, only for the transportation. We are currently in manufacturing, most of the industries living the just-in-time principle, which means we do not really have logistics. We do not really have, we have logistics, we do not really have warehousing. Only a small piece so that the production can continue. So the trucks with the parts, with what you need to assemble, are highly, it's a high dense choreography where they are driving around your manufacturing facility. Time is money until they are really needed. Then they deploy everything. The manufacturing can continue. This is, of course, the whole infrastructure on the streets, the local emissions. All of this stuff is simply constantly polluting. And of course, it increases the price of your products. So right now, with building decentralized structures, when you get stuff on demand, you do not build them on stock simply to keep it somewhere. When you use local talents, local available raw materials, when you can, let's say, take, we had already with the Teijin, brilliant people from Teijin, the intro into how polymers are being deconstructed so that you can reuse them and so on. So with Maksym's technology, I foresee here a future where we do not ship half parts, half goods, and so on across the planet, but only the raw materials, the source that is then being used for filling it into these devices so that they can print out these materials. This is something radically, really radically new. I'm getting goosebumps just by thinking about it.
Yeah, and Maksym, maybe you can share your thoughts on the current challenges and why actually 3D printing could here be the solution.
Yeah, of course. Actually, 3D printing had two stages of development, and the first stage was not so bright as we see it now. The acceptance level for additive manufacturing and 3D printing was quite challenging because people didn't find the use cases. What Jay mentioning, and this was about the level of acceptance by the industry and the global society. So when there was a need for on-demand manufacturing and actually the customization, the biggest value of 3D printing, additive manufacturing in our technology, that you can do customization on demand, not only manufacturing, but customization. And this is when the industries like automotive or aerospace or the semiconductor industry require a lot of customization because they are also extremely expensive, these industries. The infrastructure that exists today on a global level is extremely complex, it's extremely expensive. And and you cannot customize solutions easily, like from sensor or to even the metal parts for like airplanes. And this is very difficult. That's why our innovation cycles right now are extremely long. Now imagine if we enable on-demand manufacturing and customization, the innovation cycle turns from years to months or weeks or days. And then engaging local talents and local materials. And this is absolutely paradigm shifting approach. Now we can build, innovate with the speed of light almost. Imagine that.